The evolution of a legend is the king finally changing the throne. Asterisk for 3 decades. One silhouette has defined the Indian commute. It has moved families, built businesses, and survived roads that would break lesser machines. But the streets are evolving. Traffic is faster, the distances are longer, and the patience for sluggish acceleration is wearing thin. The 100cc era was glorious, but the 125cc era is inevitable. Hero knows this, and they have taken the biggest gamble of the decade. This isn't just a new bike. It is the 2026 Hero Splendor Plus 125. This is an attempt to put a sprinter's heart into a marathon runner's body. The question isn't whether it's a good bike. The terrifying question for Hero is, can they upgrade the icon without killing the soul of the brand? The answer lies hidden in the engine casing. Asterisk, the philosophy of design, modernity in a rectangular world. Asterisk, when you first look at the 2026 model, you feel a sense of relief mixed with intrigue. Hero hasn't committed the sin of turning the Splendor into a plastic-clad sports commuter. The DNA remains intact. The iconic rectangular headlight is there, but it's now flanked by sharp, integrated LED RLs that cut through the morning fog like a knife. The tank lines are slightly more muscular, holding a capacity that looks deceptively larger, hinting at the longer range. The famous utilitarian flat seat is untouched in shape but upgraded in material density. It looks like the Splendor you grew up with, but it stands with a new arrogance. It says, "I am still your workhorse, but I've started hitting the gym." The chrome exhaust shield, the shiny badge of the middle class, is retained, gleaming against the new matte finish engine block. But beauty is irrelevant if the beast within doesn't deliver. And this is where the controversy begins. Asterisk, the heart transplant, 125cc. Power versus the mileage anxiety. Asterisk, here is the friction point. Every Splendor buyer asks one question before asking the price. Kitna deti hai. How much does it give? Moving from 97.2cc to a 125cc powertrain is a massive leap. We are looking at a refined air-cooled single-cylinder engine that likely pushes close to 11 bhp and 10.5 Nm of torque. On paper, these are just numbers. On the road, this translates to something the Splendor never had: overtaking confidence. You are no longer stuck behind the bus doing 40 km/h, praying for a gap. A twist of the throttle in third gear, and you are gone. The vibration that usually crept into the handlebars at 60 km/h, it's been pushed back to 85 km/h. It feels planted. It feels strong. Asterisk, but what about the mileage? This is the make-or-break factor. Hero has reportedly tuned the ACU in the i3's idle stop-start system aggressively. While the old 100cc gave you 70 kmpl, real-world testing of this 125cc setup suggests a figure hovering between 62 to 68 kmpl. You are trading about 5 km/L for the ability to carry a heavy load uphill without the engine screaming for mercy. Is that a fair trade? For the modern commuter facing flyovers and faster highways, the answer is leaning towards yes, but efficiency is nothing without endurance. Asterisk, the Indian road test. Comfort in the suspension torture. Asterisk A. Splendor isn't ridden on racetracks. It's ridden on broken tarmac, gravel paths, and flooded streets. It carries the weight of a rider, a pillion, and often 2 heavy bags of groceries or tools. The 2026 Splendor Plus 125 addresses the biggest complaint of the previous generation: the spine-jarring rear suspension. The new hydraulic shock absorbers are visibly thicker, with a 5-step adjustability that actually works. We simulated the family load, a combined weight of 160 kilograms, and hit a series of speed breakers. The bottoming out thud was gone. Asterisk, the chassis has been reinforced to handle the extra torque, which surprisingly improves the stability. The bike doesn't wobble when a heavy vehicle passes by. The braking, now equipped with a standard front disc option and combi braking system, CBS, finally offers stopping power that matches the acceleration. It stops where you want it to, not 10 feet later. It feels safe, which is the second most important emotion after trust. However, all this mechanical upgrading usually signals a nightmare for the one thing Indian buyers hate most: complex repairs. The mechanics, verdict, maintenance, and reliability. This is where the Splendor legacy truly lives or dies. The beauty of the Splendor was that any roadside mechanic with a screwdriver and a wrench could fix it. Has the 2026 125cc model become too digital to be practical? Hero has played a masterstroke here. While the instrument cluster is now fully digital with Bluetooth connectivity for call and SMS alerts, a necessary evil in 2026, the mechanicals remain refreshingly analog. The engine layout is spacious. The spark plug is accessible. The chainset is enclosed in the classic metal cover, a feature that extends chain life by thousands of kilometers in dusty conditions, compared to the open chains of sporty 125s. Asterisk, we spoke to service experts about the projected cost of ownership over 5 years, because the parts sharing with the Super Splendor and the Glamour ecosystem is high. Spare part availability is instant and cheap. The oil change intervals have been stretched slightly due to better synthetic oil blends recommended by Hero. Essentially, you are paying perhaps 10% more in maintenance for 30% more performance. It is a machine designed to be abused and neglected, yet still start on the first kick or self-start every single morning. But there is one final financial hurdle that defines the Splendor: the gold coin factor. Resale value in India. You don't just buy a Splendor, you invest in it. It is liquid cash. If you buy it today and sell it 3 years later, you expect to recover a massive chunk of your money. Will the 125cc hold its value like the 100cc? The market trend suggests a shift. The demand for second-hand 100cc bikes is plateauing, while the demand for used 125cc commuters is skyrocketing. People want cheap power. By 2029, a used 2026 Splendor Plus 125 will likely be the hottest commodity in the second-hand market. It bridges the gap between the budget buyer and the aspirational buyer. It is future-proof. The final verdict: the king is dead. Long live the king. The 2026 Hero Splendor Plus 125 is not perfect. It is slightly heavier, and the price tag will undoubtedly pinch those used to the sub-8k pricing of the past. It takes away the fillet, shut it, forget it ease of the 100cc slightly, forcing you to be a bit more mindful of the throttle to maintain that mileage. But it gives back so much more. It gives you dignity on the highway. It gives you comfort on bad roads. It gives you a machine that feels like it belongs in the modern era without forgetting its roots. Asterisk: if you are a hardcore mileage extremist who counts every drop of fuel, the 100cc remains your god. But if you are a realist who values your time, your back and your safety just as much as your wallet, this bike is the upgrade you have been waiting for. Hero hasn't just made a bigger Splendor, they have made a better one. The legend hasn't changed, it has just grown up. And on the chaotic roads of tomorrow, this maturity is exactly what we need.